Hello everyone! So, I'm very excited today to do this review. I am reviewing the Pickled Steel Divine, finally. I've carried this knife and I've had enough time to really sit with it and think about actually what I like, what I don't like, what it reminds me of, that sort of thing. So, really excited to talk about this knife. It is a very special knife and I think it is very appropriate for both men and women, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So, just a quick announcement, the boxes will be updated, I think at the beginning to the middle of April of the Pickled Steel line. So they are going to come with this logo in silver, printed on the top of the box in the center. The boxes is also going to include stuff like extra screws, extra pocket clip, a Torx tool so that you can disassemble your knife if you need to clean it very thoroughly. But yeah, exciting. Thank you, Pickled Steel, for the extras. We really appreciate that. Let's take a look at this knife. Woo-wee. Okay, so once again, we have the leather sheath, which comes with all Damascus knives. It has a snug fit for the knife, so very, very nice sheath. I've spoken about these sheaths. They are 300 Rand if you just want to buy the sheath by itself. So knock off 300 Rand from whatever the price is of the Damascus knife that you are buying. Very detailed, very beautiful, very appropriate for fancy dress, events, stuff that I will be taking these knives to and carrying these knives for. So yeah, awesome belt loop, very functional, very beautiful. Really appreciate the effort that went into making these. Okay guys, so here we have it. Whew. We have it here. The Pickled Steel Divine. What a knife. If you've seen the short, then you have seen the detail of the Damascus on this knife. But let's open it up. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, that is something special. Just look at that. I really enjoy the pattern on this blade. That is next level. It has 9CR, 67 layers of 9CR Damascus. So Damascus finish on the blade. Then we also have a stainless steel bolster and sandalwood scales. This is quite dark for sandalwood, and that is why I got confused. I thought it was ebony, but it is in fact sandalwood, and I love it. It is very beautiful. Very beautiful. Nice backspacer also there. So let's just talk a little bit about this knife. This knife is 18 centimeters or 180 millimeters. It has a blade length of 72 millimeters or 7 centimeters, blade width of 2.5 centimeters. Then we also have a blade thickness of 2.5 centimeters. So it's not a thick blade, but it's definitely also not a thin blade. We have a handle thickness of 1.5 centimeters, and then we have a weight of 113 grams, which is actually heavier than the Toko, the Pickled Steel Toko. So that's quite interesting. Now guys, if you're anything like me and you have a wife or a girlfriend or a fiance, then you know that they can get kind of iffy when when it comes to us spending money on collecting things and hobbies and that sort of thing. And with this knife, I want to share some wisdom, because the other day I was standing in a shop in the mall and speaking to a guy about knives, and he told me, you know, the first rule of knife collecting is that your girlfriend or your wife must never find out about how many knives you have and what they cost. Now I really love my fiance, so I don't want to lie to her, so I will share some other advice and wisdom with regards to how you can pursue your knife collecting without also receiving multiple knobs on your head from Kop Klapper, you know. Okay, so my uncle, he was a wise man, very wise. You know, he's dead now, but he was very wise. He actually he collected guns, and he had some amazing guns. But the way he got away with it is, you know, there's one thing that our wives or our significant others have every year, and that's a birthday. So he would buy his wife a gun every year for her birthday. I think it was like for 8 years straight that he would buy his wife a gun. And he would write her a letter and be like, "Ach, liefie, I am so excited that we are going to have so much fun at the range together, and I'm going to teach you how to shoot, how to protect yourself, because I just want you to be safe. And he would spin such nonsense. And then I think she went to the range like once or something, but obviously he would register it in his name, and then inevitably the gun will become his. So I suggest you do the same thing, especially with the Divine, because the name is so perfect for that purpose. You know, you can buy your wife this knife, or your girlfriend or whatever. You can buy them this knife and be like, I want to give you something really special. And you know how we're always like, I don't know what to get someone for their birthday when we go shopping. And then they would say, no, just get them something that you love, because then it will be from the heart. So you can say something like that. I got you something that I love and that I think is so beautiful. But when I saw this, I thought that you were even more beautiful. And the name of this knife is Divine. And every time you look at it, you can feel divine and be reminded that I think you are just divine. So I don't know. You guys can get creative, but this is a perfect knife for that. But all jokes aside, this is actually a very functional, very practical knife for a woman, because the action is just that fantastic. You know, it feels basically assisted, and I think it's just because they got the detent just right on this knife. So that resistance is perfect to just break and have it fly open without any issues. Drop shot, of course. This is pickled steel quality after all. So, very nice knife, very nice size, you know, 18 centimeters. My hand does fit in this knife, and my pinky is not even running on the edge there. So, yeah, it fits. It's not the biggest knife, but you do have a very nice finger choil here, which does come in handy. So let's talk about the blade. Functional blade, simple blade, shape design. You know, nothing crazy, nothing sheep's footy or tantoy. It's just plain and simple drop point style blade, which is awesome. Yeah, really enjoy the pattern of the Damascus. It looks very, very cool. Kind of reminds me of shark teeth, that jagged part, you know. So that's awesome. Does have a thumb stud, which for me is perfect, because I do prefer a thumb hole or a thumb stud over a flipper tab for my preferences. I'm not saying it's better at all. I'm just saying for my preferences, that is fantastic. I have actually reversed this thumb stud to see if I can reverse flick this knife, and it did work. But I did reverse it back just because I think the action is just so phenomenal with this thumb stud being thumb flipped open. So I wanted to keep it original. I think they did a good job with that. So yeah, I think the one thing that I both enjoy but can get frustrated with is the bolster. The bolster looks awesome, okay? That stainless steel is next level. But I tend to kind of, you know, push on that, and then my fingers come off on that bolster and it loses its shine, or it leaves like a thumbprint or whatever. If you are not like me and you don't really mind that, you know, if you look at it right now, it's not bad at all. It's just not a mirror. It just doesn't have that mirror polish like it has now, you know. So it's not a big problem for me. I love the look and I would prefer it to remain the same. I just you know, I like to keep it as nice as I possibly can. Okay, so that's just with regards to the bolster. Also, if it does get scratched, it will show, as with the same as with a, let's say a satin finish on a blade, like a honey badger here. But yeah, I've sanded this honey badger, and that's a tip for you guys. I have what I do is I buy 1500 grit sandpaper, then I leave it in like Q20 or any kind of oil really, but I do it with Q20, and then I sand my blade, and then it removes those scratches. But you need to make sure that it does actually absorb the oil a little bit, because then the grit will be even finer than 1500, and it won't leave such imprints on the blade. As you can see with this, you know, I've sanded it quite a lot. I think I actually used 1200 just because I don't really care about this knife anymore that much. So you can't really see significant like scratches or, yeah, anything like that. So that's maybe a tip, but I won't easily be doing that with this. I don't think it's necessary, because I will be taking good care of it. Then we have sandalwood for the handle, which is very nice. I like the darker sandalwood. That is enjoyable, and it fits with this knife. You know what this knife actually makes me think about? It reminds me of a traditional slip joint, or maybe even more like a lockback pocket knife. Okay, that's what it reminds me of. Just like the one that your Opa would carry around on him all the time, carving his biltong, using on the farm or whatever. You know, that's what this knife design reminds me of. But then it has the modern touches with the liner lock and the also just the Damascus, obviously, and yeah, just the stainless steel there, farm stud. So it incorporates what we love as knife enthusiasts these days, the flipping action, the fidgety factor. You know, it incorporates that, but within a traditional knife design. So if you like the traditional slip joints, lockbacks, this is for sure the knife for you. It's a very solid bolt also. As you can see, it does have thick stainless steel liners. The stainless steel liners is not skeletonized. It's even with the flushed with the handle. So even with the handle there, good solid backspacer. I love the cutouts on this backspacer, just because it adds to that sort of a layered effect, you know, that we have with the Damascus. So that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. I like the lanyard on this one. It's a light leather color, and I think for now I will be keeping it that way. I did mention with the Toko, I wanted to kind of put another lanyard on, which is a little bit darker like this one. And I will be doing that on the Toko, but not right now on the Divine. I do enjoy the little bit of a lighter flare there with the darker sandalwood. So that's very nice. The decompression on the liner lock is exceptional. It's so comfortable to close this knife. It really is just fantastic work right there. It's quite a thick, as I mentioned, thick liner, so you do have a substantial amount of material holding this blade in place if you are going to use it as a beater knife, which I don't suggest. But this thing will probably be able to really take a punch, and as usual, no blade wobble there. It is perfect. Okay, it does run on caged bearings, which adds to that awesome action. Really, really cool knife. Very nice. Well done, Pickled Steel, with this one. Okay, guys, go out there, get yourself a Pickled Steel Divine.